Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple here again, and today we are going to take an adventure back to Scandinavia. We've already done on this channel, as you've seen in the playlist if you've gone through, a Norwegian Arctic field ration as well as a Danish 24-hour summer ration. Today what we have here is a 24-hour ration, as by the name of course, 24-hour meals, combat edition. This is from Sweden, and it's my first time having a Swedish ration, and from the reviews that you see online and from the general talk in the ration review community, this Swedish ration is perhaps seen as one of the best anywhere in the entire world. So what we have actually here today is a menu number 7, 4-course ration. This company, 24-hour meals, actually makes 2-course, 3-course, and 4-course rations. So what we have here is the largest version of it, and you can tell it's certainly large by the calorie content which is here, which says it's 4,700 calories for a 24-hour period. And because it's a 4-course, they break it down into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then what they consider an evening meal. And they show you then what your main items would be for each meal. So breakfast would be yogurt with breakfast flakes. Lunch would be chicken roganjo with rice, and then dinner would be meatballs and pasta, very Swedish kind of thing. And then for evening meal, they say a sweet and sour soy and whole wheat bread, so some sort of shelf-stable sandwich kind of thing, I assume, is the best way to describe it. And this particular ration came from a good buddy of mine, Drew78, and Drew's a great guy. We do a lot of business, and I'll have a link to his eBay page and whatnot at the description for this video. This ration itself was actually made in 2015, and it did technically expire a few months ago, but usually when we go by the expiry date here, it's probably only one item in the particular ration that has a short shelf life, and that's the one item that is expired. And I guess whatever item expires first, they have to put that as the expiry date of the particular ration itself. So what we're going to do for this video is do the unboxing or unbagging or unpacking or whatever you want to call it, and then pick out what we're going to have for our breakfast portion, I suppose. This is a particularly large ration. It is very, very big. You can see some of the items that are already in it, and then some of the stuff that's in the center is kind of going to be the whole surprise. So I guess we can start off and tear right into it. So it's got a nice little carry handle, and these little sort of tear notches here. And what you'll notice actually is that we have all these items in one side, and then the other side of the bag is actually sort of I guess it's compartmentalized. So as you finish, you can either throw your refuse here in this side, or you put your refuse somewhere else, I suppose, and then whatever items you want to maybe break up into whatever your other meals, you can sort of do it that way. But yeah, they do give you the option of a second part of the bag, which is pretty neat. So let's just see what we've got in this whole ration here. Got one of our main meals first off. We got our chicken roganjo with rice. It's a very large portion, 400 grams of it, and get a look at all the ingredients here, nutritional facts. Got ourselves a packet of creamy peanut butter. Oddly enough, this is actually made in Wisconsin, so this is an American item. Got what looks like some drink mixes here. We've got a isotonic drinking powder, exotic flavor. Isotonic drinking powder, exotic flavor again. And another isotonic drinking powder, an orange flavor. Got a little candy of some kind, hard-boiled sweet. Not entirely sure what flavor this will be. I guess we'll find out as time goes on. Another one of our main meals. We've got our meatballs and pasta. Once again, another large 400 gram size. Get a look at the ingredients there and the nutritional facts. We've got another isotonic drinking powder, orange. So that's 4 drink powders. They certainly give you a lot here in the Swedish ration. The Danish ration I had, I believe, came with 1, and that was it. So it's a nice change. We've got a little what's called nut cream. I assume this is something along the lines maybe of Nutella kind of thing. And yeah, this is just supposed to be a sort of a chocolate spread for, you know, crackers or bread or whatever else comes in this thing. We have another drink powder. We have a grapefruit. So that's 5 now drink powders we have in here. Another one of our green hard-boiled candy. We've got a packet of Xylema gum. Looks like it might be probably raspberry flavored, perhaps. And we've got 4 packs of Colombian coffee, freeze-dried. So I guess they give you one for every single meal that they have here, seeing it's a 4-course meal. And they also give you 4 disinfectant wipes. And these are 70% ethanol. And what else we have? There's just an absolute pile of stuff in here. Oh, we have another packet of gum. Swiss mint. We've got a Bridgeford whole wheat bread, so a shelf-stable bread. This is actually made in the United States, much like the peanut butter. And we have our sandwich shelf-stable sweet and sour soy and whole wheat bread. So this is interesting. I've never actually seen this before. So be kind of curious to see how this actually looks. And we've got what I would assume would be our breakfast. So yes, we got our yogurt with breakfast flakes. Whatever they deem to be breakfast flakes. So it's just, look at the ingredients there. Yogurt powder, flakes, which is incredibly ambiguous, but it just says it's barley, rye, oats, and wheat. And a bit of sugar, cream powder, pineapple flavoring. So yeah, these Blauband meals, you can get this, you know, it's all sort of freeze-dried or just dehydrated. Add water to it. They have, you know, breakfast items, dessert items, and main meals. These are absolutely fantastic. I've had a number of these. I've never had this particular item before. So it's going to be kind of cool to try this one out, but looking forward to it. And we've got another boiled sweet. It's black. Being a Scandinavian ration, I would probably bet this is probably going to be licorice flavored, and that might not be good for me. I'm not a huge fan of licorice flavoring, but anyway. And then we've got a packet of Nutwalker honey roasted peanuts, vacuum sealed. Those are fantastic. And a packet of roasted and salted peanuts, same company. We've got a packet of Seabass oat biscuits. Feels like there's maybe 6 in there, could be 4. Then we've got a Orifo brand chocolate cake, 85 grams, feels incredibly dense. Manufactured in Spain. So this, I believe, is very similar to the cake item that you would get in a United Nations combat ration. So it seems very similar. The packaging is similar and the shape is similar, and it's made in Spain, which is where that one's also made. So it's probably a good bet that it's probably the same exact product. As you can tell, it's kind of dense. Makes a bit of a sound when you drop it. And we've got 2 items left. We have yet again another packet of Swiss mint gum and a cookies and cream cereal bar from Orifo as well. So as you can tell, this is a lot of stuff. Odd that they give you 5 drink powders. You can see the other one right there. Give you 5 drink powders. It's a lot of items. So the thing to figure out now, I guess, is break this down into meals. I'm not gonna turn this into a 4-course. That'll just take way too long, and nobody needs to hear me gab on for more than an hour when I finally do the second part of this video. So for part 1 now, what we're shooting right now, we'll do breakfast now and see what items I think make up an all right breakfast. So I'll be back in 1 second. All right, everybody. So we got breakfast laid out. What we're going to have for this meal is our yogurt with breakfast flakes, obviously. We've got a grapefruit isotonic drink. That's the one random individual flavor. We got 2 orange and 2 exotic. We'll spread them out over the other meals. And we've got our nut cream with our oat biscuits. And I have our cookies and cream cereal bar and our roasted and salted peanuts. And along with that, going to have our raspberry, I believe, gum to finish off, and this boiled sweet, whatever flavor that happens to be. I guess the first thing probably we should do is to start up our actual main meal. So it does give you instructions here that tells you to add 3 deciliters of water, which would be 300 milliliters of water, and let it sit for 10 minutes. It's got a nice gusset on the bottom so it can, you know, stand up, but it's easier to work at once we open it up. It is fairly powdery. So yeah, it's actually, the picture on front makes it look like it's going to be fairly white, but the powder inside's kind of, you know, is golden, almost. It's not really like it's like a curry kind of color. So I don't know if this has gone bad or if it's supposed to look like that, but it smells amazing. Actually, kind of smells a little bit like graham crackers, but I don't know if they got this wrong or not. But anyway, that is what it is, and we're going to add 300 mils of water. We're going to eyeball a little bit. Probably feels about right. And we'll use our very long-handled combat spoon, which I also got from Drew. Included it with a package a while back, and this is a wonderful item. I'll give this a bit of a stir, try to make sure we get down into the corners, make sure there's no dry pockets. This doesn't seem to want to mix very well. It's kind of just floating on top of the water. I don't know if I was supposed to use warm water or not, but anyway. This is not easy to stir. I'm going to have to move this a little bit. Alright, so we're going to let that sit and do its thing. And, I don't know, it's a little off-putting, the color of that, when you really look at the ingredients. It says 40% yogurt powder. And I would think yogurt powder, and then it also says cream powder as well. Turning brown like that, that doesn't bode well, which is a little disconcerting for this ration, because usually these dehydrated, you know, meals keep fairly well. So I'm a little weird. Don't know how that's going to go. Anyway, I guess next thing we'll probably do is mix up our drink powder. So we got our grapefruit isotonic drink. Our Strongbow glass. This little tear notch on the side. Says to mix it with 500 mils of water. I don't think we can quite get 500 mils in that glass, but pretty close. A lot of artificial coloring added to that, which is a good thing. Give it a bit of a stir. Wow, that has an incredibly strong white grapefruit smell. And obviously, of course, it takes on the color of kind of what white grapefruit juice would look like, but sometimes you just assume it'll have a generic kind of grapefruit flavor and maybe an artificial one. But this smells almost as if you are going to drink just a glass of white grapefruit juice, which is a good thing. It's I can tell it's probably going to be incredibly tart. So next, I guess we'll open up the rest of the sort of snacks, I suppose, to go along with the breakfast. We've got our oat biscuits here. Okay, these are a little lighter than I thought they would be. And you end up getting 6. They're little round biscuits. Look at them there. In pretty good shape. A little bit of dust. We'll open up our cereal bar. That is incredibly dark. Has a very strong cocoa kind of smell to it. Should be interesting to see how this is. It's a little dry. It doesn't have a whole lot of bend to it, but I'm sure it'll taste okay. Open up our peanuts, see if we can get a little hiss here on the vacuum seal. Didn't really get one, but sometimes the sound of the tearing actually takes away from the sound of the vacuum seal. Those peanuts, usually I've had this brand a number of times in other rations. These peanuts are absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to have more of them. And we can just get our nut cream ready. And the ingredients here on the back show that it is got some hazelnuts and peanuts in it, as well as cocoa, of course, obviously. So it should have something like a Nutella kind of flavor to it. And lastly, I guess we can open up our gum and our after meal candy. Just regular sort of briquettes of gum. These are apparently child-proof candy. Alright, so I think it's time to give everything a try now. This is probably reconstituted fairly well. Give us a chance to see how this really is. That could be the culprit right there. The looks like the seal for the zip tie was broken on that. So maybe air got to this over time, and that's the reason why this has this graham cracker kind of look to it, because it is not supposed to look like graham crackers. It's yogurt powder. It should be white. So, and it's just kind of turned into a slightly flaky mush. Yeah, that doesn't look very good, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. Let's just give it a little tiny taste and see what we're working with. Oh, God. Yeah, that's incredibly sour. That yogurt powder and the cream powder has gone off considerably. That's entirely inedible. That's a really big shame. These are usually absolutely fantastic. It's the first time I've ever actually seen one of these bad in any way, shape, or form, and this is incredibly bad. This is not supposed to look like this. So something obviously happened with the packaging or whatever. And yeah, I'm not going to be having any more of that. So we really don't have a whole lot of a big breakfast left now, which is kind of disappointing. But I guess we'll try out our oat biscuits first. Let's just give one a bit of a try on its own first. This little piece that sort of snapped off. Seems kind of flaky. Oh, and those are really good. They're nice and buttery. They're light. They're a bit more flaky, I'd say, than you would call crunchy. So yeah, it's really tasty. It's got a nice, obviously, oat flavor to it. Put a little bit of this nut cream on here. It looks just like Nutella. Yeah, it spreads nice. You can actually see the little pieces of peanut and hazelnut in there. Let's give this a try. That is very, 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 very tasty. I'd probably put it just one step below Nutella when it comes to quality of taste. You can really taste the difference by having the peanuts in with the hazelnuts. I find both really accentuate the flavor of chocolate. So by having both of them in there together, it's fantastic. But I still would lean towards saying Nutella is just a little tiny bit better. But that's fantastic. I wish I had more than just one pack of that. So yeah, this is going to turn into a fairly short video now with kind of the main meal gone, let's just give our grapefruit drink a try, just to cleanse the palate a little bit. Oh, wow, that tastes just like white grapefruit juice. It's exactly the same. It doesn't taste artificial in any way. It's certainly not sweet. It's incredibly tart. And for anyone who likes the flavor of grapefruit juice, it's fantastic. I'd say probably one of my favorite sodas would have to be Fresca. So by having something like this, it's fantastic. So what we have left really is just our cookies and cream bar and our peanuts. Let's just give the cookies and cream bar a try again. You can tell it's a lot of cocoa and these Rice Crisps. So yeah, let's see how it is. It's a really nice cookies and cream flavor. It's very pronounced cocoa flavor, and I don't know how they get the sort of cream flavor added to it, but it really does mix well together. It tastes like you're eating, a cookies and cream ice cream or something like that. It's got that kind of flavor to it. The Rice Crisps aren't they're not crispy, I guess. Maybe the ration is showing its age a little bit. Although I've never actually had the cookies and cream bar before itself. I've had other Orifo cereal bars, and they've been fantastic. This seems like it's a little bit softer, perhaps, than some of the other ones. Even though it snapped apart, it wasn't as malleable. But at the same time, the Rice Crisps in this are seemingly, they're not quite as crispy, I suppose, as the other ones. But that's the best way to describe it. Now, we got our peanuts. I mean, you can't say a whole lot about peanuts. They're just standard roasted and salted peanuts. They're nice size to them, and they smell fantastic, and these are always great quality. And once again, you can't go wrong with Nut Walker brand peanuts. Those are amazing. I can't wait to try the honey roasted ones in one of the other meals we'll have later on. So, let's have another drink of this again, and then all we have left, I suppose, is our gum and our candy. So these are supposed to be, I guess, raspberry flavored, perhaps. We'll find out now in a second. But they're just standard briquettes of xylitol gum. Remember, xylitol's a artificial sweetener, and it's used a lot in candy and gum and things like that. But it's incredibly toxic to dogs. So make sure if you have dogs, which we have Sonny here, and like to try to make sure that keep the stuff away from him, because xylitol and dogs do not mix well. Oh wow, what an amazing, fresh, light, it's not an overpowering flavor, but a very light but yet fresh, natural raspberry flavor. That's fantastic. It's almost got like a little bit of a cream kind of undertone to it as well, but that's a wonderful palate cleansing gum. It's a bit different. You're used to mostly getting mint flavored gums in rations, so it's nice to have something a little bit different than that. But that's really, really enjoyable. I wish there was more of that than just the one pack. And last but not least, we have our boiled sweet, which kind of wants to stick onto here. It's green. I have no idea what the flavor is going to be, so let's try it out. Yeah, and even after chewing on that for a minute or more, I still can't quite place what flavor it is. It's funny. It sort of is reminiscent of, I guess, makes you think of, like, going to Nan's house, and Nan would have candy out. And it's probably been sitting out for a little while. And it has just a vague flavor. You can't quite put your finger on. Yeah, that candy's kind of got like a vague lime, citrusy kind of thing, but at the same time, mostly just tastes sweet. It's not overpowering in any way. It's kind of hard to tell actually what it is. So yeah, it's not bad, but it's just a little bit of extra energy. Something just, to keep your mouth moist. Something to occupy yourself, a little bit of sugar, but it is what it is. So guys, this has been, I guess, the end of part one. We've done the unpackaging and the breakfast portion of this review. So we'll be coming back to you again as quickly as we can. So hopefully we're going to be able to finish off next in part two, this Menu 7 24-hour combat meal from Sweden. And we'll try to have it all done by the end of that. I'm not gonna have 3 separate meals for the next one. We'll just break it into 2 and spread things out a bit. But it's incredibly large. It's going to be 2 very large meals. But hopefully these things end up working out better than the main did for this breakfast, because that was incredibly disappointing. So once again, everybody, thanks a lot for stopping by and giving this a watch. If you want, thumbs up, leave a comment below, all that kind of stuff. Have a good one.